Hello, everybody. My guest today is Brian Pontarelli. He's been coding since he was 8 and studied computer engineering at CU Boulder. After working at various companies, including BEA and Orbitz, he took the plunge and started his own company. For the past 12 years, he's been working on building an awesome bootstrapped business called FusionAuth.io. Brian, you ready to take us to the top?
Yeah, sounds great.
All right, man. First off, I love Bootstrap. So tell us about the company. What are you building?
So we are building a modern identity management platform with a bunch of other features. So rather than just providing authentication, which is just essentially login, we're also doing everything from registration, emailing, user management, like discipline, family relationships, basically everything anybody could ever need when it comes to dealing with users.
Interesting. Okay, so who's your customer? Who are you selling to?
So essentially anyone that's building an application. So if you're, building a mobile app and let's say it's going to be like the coolest new to-do app ever known to man, and you want to allow users to register and then log in so that they can manage their to-dos. Well, rather than building all of that yourself, you can use FusionAuth and you get all the bonus features as well as a lot more security.
Okay, that's super interesting. Walk me through kind of average pricing. What's the average company or customer paying you per month, would you say?
So it really varies based on how big they are, but I would say on average, it's in the $1,000 to $2,000 a month range.
Okay, fair enough. And someone paying $1,000 a month, kind of how are you pricing it? In other words, why would someone pay you more? Is it number of seats, number of kind of verifications? What is it?
So we do it based on monthly active users. And it's a good metric because as you have more monthly active users, if login stops working, that means like your cash register stops working, right? So it's super important to have your login like up all the time and running perfectly. So then you just have to have, get more support.
And what year did you launch this bad boy?
We actually launched, so we did a soft launch and got a couple of beta customers, I think about 2.5 years ago, and then worked out all the kinks and then did our full complete launch September 4th of last year.
Very good. And how many customers have you scaled to?
So I think at this point we have about 500 people using it in production.
Okay.
We've had about 60,000 downloads.
Okay.
And we're getting right around like 30 to 40,000 visitors at the website.
Okay. How many of them are paying though? Paying kind of companies?
So because FusionAuth's free, and we're sort of in a land grab right now trying to get as many people on the platform as possible, I think we have about 20 total paying customers.
Yeah. By the way, there's nothing wrong with having few paying customers on this model. There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's great. Good. So 20 customers, $1,000 a month minimum. You're doing north of 20 grand a month right now in revenue?
So we're actually doing 7 figures. So we have another product.
Oh, okay.
It pays all the bills. We've been doing that product for about 13 years.
Which product? Clean Sweep?
It's called Clean Speak. Yeah, it does profanity filtering and moderation. And it's a really solid business. We have a ton of like marquee customers like Comcast and Papa John's, a bunch of game companies like Ubisoft and
what's the
EA.
website?
It's just cleanspeak.com.
Oh, Speak, not Sweep.
Yeah, Clean Speak. Yeah. So that's sort of our main product. And it pays the bills and has allowed us to really ramp up FusionAuth and reinvest a lot of the money that we make on CleanSpeak into FusionAuth.
So just focusing though on FusionAuth for now, do you have about 20 people paying $1,000 a month? Is that right?
We're doing about $200,000 or $300,000 a year in revenue.
Okay, that's good. So yeah, $20,000 a month would be $240 a year.
Yep.
Yeah, so about 20 at $1,000 a month.
Yep.
How have you converted people from free to pay? This is like a magical moment. It's not always easy. So how have you kind of got that down to a science?
So it's really just inbound. So we do a ton of marketing. We focus on developers. Developers actually will get it like installed, start using it, and maybe even get it into production. And then they'll be like, okay, we probably should get some support. Mm-hmm. So we just make it really easy to contact us, work with them, get them what they need, and then sign the contract. It's pretty simple.
Interesting. Okay. And are you $1,000 a month? What does that come down to in terms of like per seat, or like how many monthly active users do I probably have if I'm paying you $1,000 a month?
You've got somewhere between 1 and maybe 15,000 or so.
Okay. So 2 seats and 15,000 monthly active users.
Yeah, exactly. And then, we're talking to a number of people who are going to be doing like 1 to 2 million monthly active users. And obviously the pricing changes when you get that large.
Yeah, it better be way bigger.
Yeah.
All right, very good. And in terms of growth on this company, so $20,000 a month today, where were you exactly 12 months ago? Were you pre-revenue at that point?
Yeah. So we were basically just getting it up and running, not pre-revenue. We had a few smaller customers probably doing like a few, maybe $1,000 a month,
Yeah.
And I would say the scale right now is sort of, it's getting close to the hockey stick, right? So we're getting multiple inbounds per week, and then we're closing a couple deals per month.
Who's we? What's the team look like?
So the team, we have, a couple software engineers, and we're all based out of Denver. The engineering team is. We have one person helping us with marketing. I'm doing a lot of the sales. We're hiring a couple engineers. So if anyone's looking, let me know.
Total team size though today is what? How many people?
So we have 6 in Denver, and then we have a team in Europe that helps us out, and that's another 6.
Okay. So are those full-time folk in Europe, or it's like, dev folks you spin up when you need them?
They're actually sales and marketing.
Oh, okay. So 12 people total.
Yep.
Why? That's interesting. I rarely hear sales and marketing overseas. Usually it's the other way around. Coding's overseas and sales and marketing is stateside.
Yeah. So our platform is just like, it's such a core piece of it that we want those folks in office, right? So we basically have them in our offices in Denver coding together. And then sales and marketing, it's, with GDPR and just so much stuff going on in Europe, it was just sort of a natural fit to spin up a team out there to, start generating sales.
Yeah. Okay. Very interesting. And this company, it sounds like right now you're like, are you break even on this company, or is it still being kind of subsidized by the other company?
Still being subsidized by the other company. So
okay.
I would expect that this company will start overtaking CleanSpeak in revenue probably by the end of this year, early next year.
What do you think you'll get this company to by the end of this year in terms of revenue?
I'm targeting right around $1 million.
Okay, so CleanSpeak right now is doing about $1 million by itself?
It's doing almost $2 million.
Oh, great. Okay, so and is that like a high margin kind of business? How many team members are on that?
So we have a couple of team members that sort of work on it as needed. So when feature requests come in, but the whole team sort of manages it from a support perspective. We're not putting a lot of new features into it unless customers ask for them.
Yeah. So in other words, your team of 12 today, when you need to, you'll do something with CleanSpeak to keep it going. So you keep that $2 million a year coming in, but most of that cash flow is going right into this new product.
That's right. Yeah.
Very cool. Do you know anything yet about let me ask you, how are you getting 60,000 downloads, or how have you gotten 60,000 downloads?
So we've kind of hit all the developer points that we needed to. So we have, Docker containers. So Docker and Kubernetes are sort of taking off right now. And so we built those right out of the gates to say okay, we're really developer friendly. And then we promote them. And we do a lot of developer oriented marketing. So we go to a lot of developer conferences. We do a lot of Twitter advertising. We're in Reddit a lot. We get on Hacker News. So because we're focusing on those folks, it's sort of, they just come to the site and it's really easy to download. It's like one click and then they can play around with it.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Do you know anything yet about churn on the new business?
So the churn is interesting, right? Because anyone who's using it for free, there's really, once they get it integrated, the churn is basically zero. Unless they hit something that is a missing feature or something like that, they're going to use it, right? Because they'll get the app into production and then they're off to the races. Mm-hmm. And so it's really hard for them to yank it. In terms of churn for people who already have existing products and are bringing sort of large user bases, we know historic or traditionally in this industry, it's really low because it's hard to switch, but it's getting easier and easier. Companies are, trying to grab market share, right? So they're like, hey, come to us, bring your users over here. So that's happening more and more. And we'll probably start to see, some amount of churn, but it's going to be in the single digits.
But you don't have right now, if you measure your total churn, meaning someone paid you and it doesn't matter if they lasted a month or 20 months, what does your annual churn look like right now on paid customers?
So 0%. Right?
Okay,
so we
zero.
haven't had any, yeah. Yep.
Cool. Yeah, it might be too early, right? You've only been selling it for 8 months.
Yeah, exactly. It's too early.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap up with the famous 5. What is your favorite book?
Oh, that's a great one. I am a big fan of Ready Player One, but I do also like Cryptonomicon a lot.
Number 2, what is there a CEO you're following or studying?
Ooh, CEO I'm following. I got a gotta give props to Elon Musk. He's like just one of my favorites.
Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building your company?
That's a great one. We use HubSpot religiously for everything.
Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
At least 8, try to get 9.
And situation, married, single, kids?
Married, 3 kids, a dog, and
busy guy. How old are you?
I am 42.
42. So. And last question, what do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
Oh gosh. That's a really tough question. Probably to just relax. Don't take anything quite so seriously as you did back then.
Guys, relax. His first company, CleanSpeak, does $2 million a year in revenue, but it basically runs itself. He's using that money to subsidize his new business, FusionAuth.io, which today serves about 20 customers. Each spends about $1,000 per month on the company, so call it $20,000 a month right now in revenue. Growing nicely. 12 months ago, doing about $1,000 a month, and about 6 months ago, doing $3,000 a month. Now 20. So good growth. The way they've driven that growth, they got about 60,000 free downloads by doing things like making sure they were on Docker and Kubernetes containers early on, and then promoting these via dev conferences, Twitter advertising, Reddit a lot, and Hacker News. Brian, we're rooting for you, man. Totally bootstrap. Thanks for taking us to the top.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.